Hello channel members, and thank you guys so much for supporting me monthly. It really does mean a lot to me. Before we begin, I want to apologize for the lack of members only content recently. December and January have been extremely busy. I just haven't really had very much time to even do main video stuff. But I'm hoping to try to get back into doing some members only stuff because I have some really cool ideas. But for today, we're going to be revisiting the list, which is something that I covered in another members only video about 8 months ago. It has changed a lot, and I figured you guys might want to see it. So this is the list here. As you can see, there's a little bit of a layout change because I have separated all of my engines into cylinders and types. So cylinder number and type. We have other ideas, expanded, and then actual video ideas, which is either titles or just a short little thing explaining what the video is about, and then some maybes, some things that have been suggested to me in comments, but I don't really think their reach would be what I would want for a video. So let's go through, let's just look at what we got on the list here. So starting off in the engines, the single cylinder, the Kohler K91, that's a single cylinder flathead engine. I was actually going to build that for Bricksboro 2025, last Bricksboro, but a lot of things happened and it did not work out. Same thing with the Predator 212. I was also working on one of those, but it did not work out the way I wanted to because I was on a time limit and I made a bunch of building mistakes. Wasn't happy with it, so I abandoned it. The Briggs & Stratton 300 series, I believe that's a flathead. It's a lawnmower engine, so it's a vertical shaft lawnmower engine, which probably wouldn't be too difficult. But again, I just don't know if the reach would be wide enough, but it's on there. 125cc pit bike engine, I believe that I could even make it a 1-to-1 scale build with it being that small, so I think that might actually be possible. I don't know. New hit and miss engine, I have some ideas, possibly with 8x8s, which I'm going to be working on soon, hopefully, and I might be able to build a new hit and miss engine, but this time make it vacuum powered. If I can do that, that would be very cool, but I got to try out 8x8s first. And the Honda CT70 engine is one that I started work on a couple months ago, tried to revisit, and now it's been sitting on the shelf for a couple of months. So hopefully I can get back into that because that's going to be another really cool build when I'm done with it. So hopefully I can get back into that and get some of the problems that I had figured out. Maybe we can actually have a full engine. 2-cylinder is the Citroen 2CV, which is from the Citroen 2CV. It's a super simple, it's basically the Volkswagen Flat 4, but with only 2 cylinders. It would not be tough. 4-cylinder Volkswagen Flat 4. The hardest thing about that would be the head studs with the cooling fins. I don't know how I would do that. Honda K20 inline 4. It's basically the B16, but a little bit different. Volvo B18 is it's a push rod engine, right? I believe that's a push rod engine, an inline 4. Subaru EJ20. It would be tough, but would be really cool because it's a dual overhead cam boxer engine. That would be cool. Detroit Diesel 453. I don't know anything about Detroit Diesels really, so we'll have to see about that. The Satsuma inline 4, that's probably not gonna do the greatest, but then again, my summer car is like a cult game, so so maybe if I build the engine from the game, maybe it would get some views. I don't know. VW 1.9 liter TDI, the classic memeable Lego engine, but this time will be an actual 1.9 TDI. My biggest gripe, and this is a huge pet peeve for me, is that people say it's a 1.9 TDI, yet it's a pushrod engine. I'm just like, no. TDI, if you don't know, the 1.9 TDI is a single overhead cam engine, not a pushrod engine. And people call their pushrod inline 4s 1.9 TDIs, even though they're not. And it grinds my gears. I don't like it. Ford Model A engine. The reason I did the Model A instead of the Model T is the Model T has a built-in clutch, and I would not be able to build a clutch. Not at least with the way that I would want it to turn out. So if I did the Model A, because it's an inline 4 flathead engine, so it would be really easy to build and get running if I even wanted to do a vacuum version. It'd be really easy, but if it was the Model T one, the crankshaft is a little bit weird, and the clutch housing is built into the block of the engine, and I just don't know how that would work. I may be able to figure it out, but that would be tough. The Toyota 22R engine, 22R, 22RE, another inline 4 single overhead cam. These are the indestructible engines from the, oh man, I think it's the Hilux. I'm going to say Hilux. I'm probably wrong on that. There's a Toyota fan that's probably going to call me out for this. Anyway, it's a really cool looking engine. It wouldn't be too difficult. The hardest thing would be the intake manifold, because the way it curves over, it would be really difficult to make it look good. And if I was wanting to make it a vacuum version, it would be impossible because of the curves that are required to get it to look right. Maybe we'll see, I don't know. And then a Ford 2.3 liter, that's what's in my Ranger. So I physically have one, which would make it a lot easier to build. But I don't know how well the reception would be of it. I'm sure it'll be fine, but you never know. In the 5-cylinder, we have a Kenner R5 radial engine. I did not put, is it the Audi inline 4 or inline 5? I did not put that because I do not know how to do an inline 5, and I don't want to even try. 6-cylinder, we have the 2JZ. That's a dual overhead cam inline 6. The Cummins 6BT would be really easy to do. That's a push rod. It's a diesel, so it's a push rod inline 6. That'd be really cool to do, especially now that I have a turbo design. I feel like that'd be really nice. Nissan RB26 DETT would be tough, especially with twin turbos, but that would be really cool to do. I think that one's gonna have to come with 8x8s, I think, because trying to fit 4 valves per cylinder with a 6x6 design is really not possible, especially when you gotta stack the cylinders on end. The Ford 300, I've been asked for the Ford 300 for a while, and I think it'd be a really cool one. The bulletproof, the ones that run forever, the 300s. And then the Barra 6. I'm not Australian. I watch a lot of Australian car YouTubers. The Barra 6s are cool. Maybe we'll see. And then 8 cylinders. So we have a V8. The reason I'm thinking a 390 would be my dad has a truck with a 390 in it. It's really easy to look up close and look at it. That's the one I'm the most familiar with. I've made a small version of his 390 before. You find it on the website. It's not the most accurate model. I really need to revisit it, but I do have the ability to snap up close pictures of very niche things that would make it really easy to build. Buick Straight 8, which is, I believe that's also a push rod, but it's a straight 8, which is very uncommon. You never find straight 8s. And of course, a Ford Flathead V8, but this time a vacuum model of it, which probably would be pretty tough, especially if it was going to be up to my standards. It would probably have to be an 8x8 version, just because of the way that I would want to build it with head studs or head bolts, removable parts. It'd have to be pretty complicated, so it'd have to be pretty big. But if I could figure that out at 8x8 scale, that'd be awesome. Because I think it'd be getting close to full scale at that point. I don't really know. Then we have steam engines, Titanic steam engine. It would be a titanic task. It would be a big engine. It would be very tough to get it to work, but I know people have done it before. Watt steam engine is also a thing that's been done before, but I just think it'd be cool to try and replicate it. Horizontal steam engine, so basically like my explainer steam engine, but better, hopefully. And a Walschaerts valve gear, which I actually tried a couple months ago, but failed miserably. But now that I figured out caged bearings, we may have fixed the problem. So I'll have to revisit that. Other Wankel rotary engine, I doubt it'll be vacuum just because of the way you have to modify parts to get the rotation correctly, but I think updating it and making a better one and putting it on my explainer display, now that I have that too, that'd be really nice. And then a radial engine, which I know I already have one, but just a regular old radial engine. Which actually, that reminds me, I did not put up in the single cylinder, but this is something that I have planned, is an explainer 2-stroke diesel, to hopefully put that with my explainers. So if I can get the rotary engine and the 2-stroke diesel put onto the explainer engines, then the explainer display will be finished, and I'll be able to finalize a couple things on that, which would be really cool. Now in the other section, these are not engine related, but they're still cool. We got, of course, the vacuum powered chainsaw, which has been completed. The next thing on the vacuum powered list would be a weed eater, which I've thought about attempting every now and again. I have the parts to do it. It's just a matter of doing it. It would be a really cool build, I think. An engine simulator is something that I've wanted to try to build, but I just never really done it, honestly. That's the one where you have an engine, a transmission, and pedals. So you simulate the engine, which I know I'm fully capable of doing. It's just a matter of doing it. An Ibishu Covet. I haven't made a vehicle in forever. They tend to not do great on YouTube, but that's also been a while before I was started regularly getting 1,000+ views. So maybe it's time to revisit a BeamNG vehicle, I don't know. Upgraded racing sim. Shh, you guys don't know this yet. But the next video is going to be an upgraded racing sim. Don't tell anybody. You guys will get well, not everybody, but Master Builder tier will get an early teaser for this. So if you're in that tier, you guys will be getting an early teaser probably in about a week for that. So it's coming, don't worry. Next one is working floor jack with pneumatics. I tried this, it did not go according to plan. I do have a couple of pneumatic parts, but not really enough to build this. It might be worth checking out again though, because that would be a really cool build. Especially if I could fill them with water. That's an idea. If I could fill my pneumatics with water, it probably wouldn't be good for the parts, but it would be true hydraulics and not just air power. A working lathe, so this would be one that would feature all the things, you know, a carriage with a lead screw, you know, a spindle with probably a 3 or 4 jaw chuck, and multiple different speeds and cutting variations and stuff. It'd be a monumental task, but it would be a very cool build. And then right below that is a milling machine, which I also think would be pretty cool. I took a class as part of my degree in the machine shop, so I have some experience with both milling machines, Bridgeport milling machines, and lathes. So I understand how they work. I know how to operate them, at least to the basic level. So you know, having that familiarity will probably help a lot when it comes to building them. We'll have to see. A new pinball machine. Very few people know that I made a pinball machine in the very early years of the channel. It was my first video of 2023 actually, was a working pinball machine. It was not the greatest, I will admit, but it was a very cool build that I really enjoyed. I had a lot of fun building it, and I had some setbacks, but I have a lot more motors now, so I think that will be really cool, and I could probably even make it vacuum powered if I really try. A vacuum powered pinball machine. That'd be a weird niche crossover, but that'd be cool. Some BattleBots. I've wanted to build BattleBots ever since I got my remotes, which was also in 2023, I believe, is when I got my infrared remotes. They're knockoff off-brand, but they work great. I've wanted to build them ever since then, and I actually have another type of remote over here. This one came with one of my Engine DIY shop reviews, but this right here, I think building a bot with this would be even better because it's got this rechargeable battery box with 4 inputs, and so I think building a bot with this would be really cool. So this one could have multiple control abilities, and then this remote would be more like a Tombstone style build where you just steer and then the spinner just automatically spins up. I think that would be what I would want to do, but I don't know. It's just still up in the air because the BattleBots have been on the air, well, at least since the last video. An air raid siren. I tried building an air raid siren. It kind of worked, but I was very scared of it exploding. That may be something to revisit, I don't know. An ultra realistic transmission. This one is interesting because what I would have to do is I'd have to make my own gears, make my own clutch pieces, make my own changeover pieces, you know, that kind of thing. It would be tough, but it would be a very cool build, I think. And it would operate exactly like a real transmission. So I don't know. We'll have to see about that too. Working clock. I think this would also be a really cool build. I like the mechanical stuff. I don't do just engines. I think people tend to think of me as doing just engines. I like way more than that. I like anything that's mechanical. That's what I started out doing, was mechanical builds, things that featured real functions or could be operated in a certain way, and that's what I enjoyed, is mechanical stuff. Engines are very mechanical, but I like more than just that. And so a working clock is a perfect example of a mechanical build, and I just think it would be really cool because I tried building a clock many years ago before I even started doing YouTube. I tried building a couple clocks, but I didn't have all the pieces I needed, and then I finally bought some after I started YouTube, and I never built another one. One of the things I bought, which I think is still up here, was an old differential, because I've seen it used in clocks before, but it's this one. It's got the 2 gears on both sides. The old ones, I don't know how much it was. It was way more than the newer ones. The newer ones don't work. I had a bunch of these when I tried building a clock before. They do not work, so I bought the old one and then I just never tried again. Ford pickup. Either an F100 or a Ranger because, well, my dad has an F100, I have an F100, I have a Ranger. I would want to build something I have a lot of experience with, and I have the ability to go out and get pictures, and you just see the small things that wouldn't be able to get from pictures just online. And then, of course, the working arcade machine from that one set from a couple weeks ago. I did that. Now in the expanded section, this is kind of explaining more on certain builds, so I haven't really done too much in this section, but I'm going to revisit it in a couple weeks when I start working on some of my next projects. So we have the vacuum powered chainsaw. It's a 1:1 scale, ultra real, a 1-cylinder SVS vacuum engine with pull start and clutch, and the throttle is controlled by a trigger. Technic frame with engine mounts, panel mounts, blade mounts, and handles. I didn't go exactly to that, but you get the idea. And then the LV powered weed eater, 1:1 scale, ultra real, 1-cylinder SVS with pull start and clutch, throttle controlled by trigger, flexible tubes as string, which would be these. That's an idea. I also have some long axles. Oh no, I can't get to them right now. Hold on. I have a couple of really long axles. These are 32 stud long axles, which would be very good for running down the shaft of the weed eater to connect the engine to the weed eater head. And then actual video ideas. So these are titles or concepts for videos. So we have the thread classifications. Already did that one. Lego versus real life engine parts, which, spoiler, very few people have seen this. So don't go telling everyone, but I have a spark plug here. It's a 1:1 scale spark plug. So, and it is going to be featured in a future build. And I found a way to thread it in with these, so I might post that as a members only thing too. I haven't decided yet. You'd be on the lookout for that. Testing Lego bearings. Of course I did that. Bearings work. Spoiler. Lego locks. I think Lego locks are really cool. Tumbler locks, padlocks, that kind of thing. They're cool. They're mechanical. Like I said, I like mechanical stuff. I think it'd be cool to put my own spin on it. This one is something that I got from doing the history video, which is the insane engineering of modern Lego engines. Because if you really think about it, there's a lot that's going into modern Lego engines, and how much of real engineering goes into something that most people will probably see as just a toy for kids. How it can be put together to make something that runs and produces power is wild to me. And so I think highlighting the insane engineering of them would be a really cool video. Every type of Lego engine layout, that would be a task. I'd have to build a radial and a boxer and that kind of thing. I'd have to build them all first in order to have to get familiar before I attempt doing that video. How diesel engines work I've already done. Testing 8x8 round piston engines, that's hopefully going to be coming soon because I do have some projects that are relying on that. How 2-stroke diesel engines work, I thought I put this in here, I don't remember where I put it. How Wankel rotary engines work, both of those will go into my explainer display. Why won't Lego make engine sets updated? Because I have some new theories and some new ideas, so we'll see. Vacuum turbines. I haven't made a turbine yet. I've made turbines, but not for a video, because they're just so easy to build. But that video may do really good, I don't know. It seems like the simpler the build, the more views you get, really, unfortunately. Vacuum modding my Lego Briggs & Stratton engine again. I did that one, of course. Upgrading the first Lego engine set. That one is probably not going to happen, but I want to take this one. Oh, I just broke it. 8858 auto engine set. I want to take this one and upgrade it, make it modern, include modern pieces, make a modern version of the first engine set. I don't know, it may happen, it may not. Vacuum modding the round piston Briggs & Stratton engine. Of course I did that for Bricksboro, and then immediately the video was released after. Can AI build a Lego engine? That was an interesting video. I was very surprised at how close some of them got and how far some of them got. But it was pretty tough for them, I guess. Which I do have another idea for that, which I really should write it down. Where instead it's someone who doesn't know anything about Lego engines. They don't know anything about engines. They only know things about Lego. And having them build something, because I know what to expect, but I need someone that doesn't know. And you explain that to the AI and tell them, hey, I know nothing about engines. Can you help me build one out of Legos without giving me tutorials or pictures? I think that'd be a cool video idea, but it would be tough. The weirdest Lego vacuum engine I've ever built, that's the flat piston. I really should revisit that. Calculating the CCs of every one of my Lego engines. Possibly not like that, probably the ones that I have instructions for, just because it would be easier to go into the model and just calculate how long the stroke length is and everything. Building working VTEC for a Lego vacuum engine, it has been done, I know, but it would be a really cool build for me because it's a mechanical device on an engine, which is perfect for me. Turbo mod for the B16. I already did that one. And then I upgraded my 3 LEGO Explainer engines. That one's also already been done. In the maybe section, these are the ones that I don't really know if they'll be the greatest, but they are options. Shea Class C engines, these are steam engines from a train. They're really weird looking. Ursus C360 KPL engine, that's a tractor engine. The Zastava 750, I believe that's also a tractor engine. The C355 is also a tractor engine. Cessna 182 is from an airplane. I think that's a flat 4 from an airplane. And then upscaled 8858 inline 3. About the upscaled thing, if any of you guys have ever heard of a YouTuber, Minifig Jez, he's made a couple 6 times upscaled sets in the 80s and stuff. I kind of do that, probably not to that size, but do that with the 8858 engine, which would put it being huge. It would be a really cool build. It would be just a giant version of it, and I think it'd be perfect at shows. But it will be a pretty big task, and it will be pretty expensive too. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's been at least a little bit interesting, just taking a look and seeing what my project list is, and how the layout is, and how I go through my ideas. It's this kind of behind the scenes stuff that I want to provide to you guys as being part of members. I want to provide content that is good for you guys so that you're getting your money's worth, which is why I apologize I haven't had anything happen in the last couple months as far as content for the members only, but hopefully I can get back into it and do it a little bit more. We'll just have to see, because I do have a break planned coming up after this next video. I'm going to take a little break from doing YouTube. There probably won't be much, if anything, during that break time, but afterwards I'll have a couple things for you guys. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. You guys are helping keep it going. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully.